Hello. It is me, Terrible. Time to take a look at all the teams that lost in the conference semifinals. Right now, we got the last four teams. Celtics are up 3-0. Hopefully they keep that going. Timberwolves down 2-0 to the Mavs. And they lost both the home games, so they're in trouble as well. But, all four of those teams were able to take out other four teams. That's who we're looking at today. We'll start with the defending champs, although they won't be able to say that for much longer. The Denver Nuggets. Let's take a look at their roster. So, heading into next year, they got everybody back. Everybody can come back. I mean, they can get Jordan, Holiday back on minimums if they really wanted to. But in terms of, they also, KCP's got a player option. He's probably gonna opt out of that and sign a new deal. So they might have trouble keeping him, which is rough. They would definitely prefer him over probably Reggie Jackson. But let's take a look. Let's take a look at the playoff minutes, because this is important. Obviously, they got the starters down. Their biggest issue this year seemed to be the bench. Didn't have the solid bench like they had last year with like Bruce Brown. Thought they could replace him. Peyton Watson couldn't do it. Played a bunch of games, but he didn't play much. He did not play a lot, and didn't make the biggest impact. And Christian Brown, he gave him decent minutes here and there. Reggie Jackson was okay. Holiday was okay. But Strother, they drafted him. Older guy, older player, older guard from college. They were hoping he could get some minutes. Pickett, same thing. Older player. And even Tyson was like 23 or whatever. None of these guys could really contribute. And they ended up pretty much leaning on Reggie Jackson, Justin Holiday, and Christian Brown solid, but you don't want him to be your sixth man. That's tough, but yeah, in terms of the roster, they're bringing the starters back. They got to figure out how to get KCP back. If they can re-sign him, I mean, they're already, this could be tough. I think they end up probably losing both these guys. Maybe they keep Jackson. But they got Nashi. He didn't play at all, but he's on a super cheap contract. Brown's good for 2 more years. Strother, 3 more. Watson still has 2 years on his rookie deal. Hopefully, he's still young. Hopefully, him and Strother, Brown can all just keep getting better and better. Same with Nashi. But maybe they bring Justin Holiday back. They needed him in the playoffs, apparently. But Pickett, Tyson, not sure those guys are really going to be too helpful at all in the playoffs anytime soon. But in terms of money, they're staring at the second apron. But you got Jokic, you're good. Murray's going to need an extension. You just do it. I think he's for sure worth the extension. But Gordon is a player option, so what's going to happen there? Maybe he declines it, signs an extension. For how much? But they're staring down the apron. They are staring down the apron for sure. The second one. But, no need to panic. They just have to retool and hope some of those younger bench guys can step it up next year, because it's going to be the same thing. They're not going to have the depth. The starters are going to be fine, and they won't have the depth. And who knows? They won't be able to get back to last year. Bruce Brown was just so important to this team. But so I think they'll extend Murray, extend Gordon, at least get all these guys to match up to at least 2027 here. That'd be good. But Jackson, I don't know. I don't know what he'll do. I assume he'll just opt in. KCP's probably going somewhere else. KCP's probably gone. But they got the guys. They just have to develop them. They got guys. They just need to develop. But that's tough to do. That's tough to do in this league. But hey, you lose KCP. You just need like one of these guys to step it up in his place. That's all. That's all. Easy. It's that easy. It's that easy. It's so easy. But the Nuggets, in general, I think they'll be fine. But I think next year they're going to end up taking a slight step back. But who knows? You know, I think this team, you know exactly what this team is. Those top four guys, you know exactly who they are. I don't think any of them are going to get better, but none of them are ready to get worse yet. Not yet, at least. But they'll have the top four. I think Jackson will come back. Najee. These four, even Kankar. Maybe he'll come back. Who knows? But they got a team option on him, so they got the flexibility there. But then obviously the two rooks. So we'll see. But they could look to move. Like, you know, is this the type of situation where you would want to move Michael Porter Jr. for, you know, for what he does? You know, he shoots. He's, you know, a better defender these days. You know, could you pay two guys $35 million rather than just Michael Porter and then get that same output and also just have, you know, a little more depth? That's definitely something they'll probably explore. Aaron Gordon, they got to bring back. I think Gordon and Murray are so important. If anything, it's Michael Porter that they could consider moving. But other than that, I don't see it. Not for those top three guys. Not unless a really nice piece becomes available via trade, and they're like, oh, they'll take Porter and some other stuff. You know, maybe. But other than that, a lot of retooling for the Nuggets. Up next, we'll take a look at the Cavs. Lost to the Celtics, didn't have Mitchell. Never had Allen for the whole series. Came down to Garland, and he was pretty disappointing. That's the number one, but no surprise there. Let's take a look. Let us take a look. Cleveland Cavaliers. Their playoff minutes, they had a lot of guys play. They really did. Mitchell, most minutes, but not the most games. Allen, yeah, like we said, only played in those first four. Garland was okay. He was a little bit disappointing. It seems like they're gonna end up trying to move him, but they had so many guys play. Struz, Sakuro, Marcus Morris was playing. Dean Wade, well, he didn't really play, but Merrill, Niang, Thompson, all played in a bunch of the games, pretty much due to injuries. But yeah, in terms of the Cavs, Garland, if you can extend Mitchell, and trade Garland, you do it. I mean, that's not a crazy take. Everybody's talking about this one. Garland, he's only 24, but making a lot of money. What type of team would, you know, benefit from some very good guard play? But at that price, it becomes pretty interesting. Not sure, you know, maybe what the Magic, Spurs, you know, who needs a guard like this that can actually pay him as well. But this will be the big thing. If they can move this contract, get off of this contract, that would be absolutely massive for the Cavs. I mean, man, you know, the dream one. Oh man, the dream one would be what? Jarrett Allen, Darius Garland for LeBron James. That would be the trade right there. Whew. Man, if they made that one work. Oh wait, it's right here. So 50, 56, 51. Throw in Maxwell Lewis. Or maybe you need more money than that. I don't even know. But That'd be funny. But yeah, LeBron returns. Lots of teams are looking at LeBron. I mean, he's opting out. We know that. He's a free agent. Would have to be a sign and trade, but hey, would the Lakers take, if they take Garland, let Russell walk, bring in Jared Allen, let him play next to AD, move AD back to the 4. It's interesting. If you're looking at the future, it's certainly interesting. But that's only if LeBron really wants to leave. Like, if you have LeBron James, I've said this before, big believer in when you have that talent, you don't let them go, ever. Even when they, when they start to get washed, you let it go, you relax. You relax. You let them wait until they think they suck, and then they retire, alright? And then they love you forever. You don't trade them, you keep them. Alright, but, yeah, Cavs, interesting stuff going on, because Okoro needs a new contract. They got Strus. Is LeVert looking for an extension? Possibly. Mobley needs an extension. Okoro's probably gone. He's probably gone. Mobley needs an extension. LeVert, extension. Mitchell, extension. They're in trouble. They really need to trade somebody. They need to get off some of these contracts. There's just too many pieces in here. It's not right. It's not going to work. I think you can do 3 of the 4 in terms of Garland, Mitchell, Allen, Mobley. But you can't have 4-4. You can't. So, we'll see. But I think Okoro's gone. LeVert. This is tough. I think LeVert ends up playing under this. Mitchell gets extended. Mobley gets extended. Mobley and Mitchell extensions. Man, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. They gotta. Oh boy. They gotta figure out Garland. Garland has to be moved for some kind of shorter contract. They gotta pay guys. Mobley's the guy. Mitchell's the guy. Build around them. That's the team right there. Everybody else, plug and play, but that's the squad. Those are the 2. Mobley and Mitchell. I mean, Mitchell's 27, but Mobley's 22. Mitchell's still got plenty of time. He's got plenty of prime left. But him and Mobley, that's the squad. That's the squad. They just got to retool, but they have a mess here. Man, they got to figure out how to trade Garland. Is Simmons expiring? Trade for him. Oh boy, that'd be awful too, but we'll see. They're in a weird spot for sure. So, who else we got? Who else was a big loser? Right here. Yeah, the Knicks. Bunch of big losers. Yeah, they were in a weird spot. Didn't have Randall. Randall injured the whole time. Bogdanovich injured. Anunoby played some, but very often he was injured. So, but they got great pieces. Mitchell Robinson, he's okay. But no, yeah, Hart, DiVincenzo, even Burks was playing well. Hardenstein, unfortunately, probably going to lose him in free agency. They have to extend. Actually, Anunoby, he's going to get probably a whole new contract. He's going to decline this. He's getting a new contract. I mean, are Randall and Brunson, are they opting out? Are they opting out so that they can get a nice deal, a nice extension added onto this? I don't know, but Burks, man, I don't think they get him back. I think somebody else will snag him, but Hardenstein, somebody else will probably get him. Achua is an interesting piece. There could be some teams looking at him. I don't know, Sims, he didn't play much. McBride, got him on a great contract. Wow. But other than that, yeah, all the Knicks they're similar to the Cavs, where like they have the pieces. It's almost like they have too many like middle pack guys. Bogdanovich, just cut him. Just cut him for the cap space. You gotta extend. Let Bogdanovich go. Just let him go. Extend Anunoby. Hey, if Brunson and Randall, if they want extensions, get them done. Let them opt out for 25. Get those things done. But hey, maybe they probably only keep. I wonder if they only keep one of these guys. Burks, Hartenstein, Achua. Hartenstein. Somebody's gonna throw him a bag. He's gonna get thrown an absolute bag. He might be overpaid, but he's looked good this year. He's been very good this year. He's been a solid center. So we'll see. But yeah, I think the Knicks extend these two if they're ready. Bogdanovich, this is not guaranteed. So just cut him. Just cut him. Anunoby, extend. You got Mitch Rob, Hart, DiVincenzo, all under contract, 2 more years at the least. So that's solid. Hey, if they can get Burks, they might be able to get Burks. I think they'll get Burks back. Hartenstein's gone. Maybe Burks and Achua. We'll come back for like small. I don't know, Achua. I don't know. I feel like he seems like a guy who could have a little bit of cash thrown at him. And by a little bit of cash, I mean just more than whatever the Knicks could do. But yeah, I think Randall, Brunson, Anunoby, Mitch Rob, Hart, DiVincenzo, all those guys coming back. That's your top 6. Then you got McBride. So 7, and then they're gonna have to retool with the rest of it, which they can do. But I think they have a solid squad. I think they have that solid core. I think they're gonna be all right. I think the Knicks are. I think they're gonna be fine. Not super worried about them. Speaking of teams, you don't want to be too worried about. OKC, the Thunder are the last team of this video. They're in a pretty good spot. So they got Shea, they got Hayward coming off the books. I don't think they bring him back. If they do, it's for small money. They're gonna have that a slot pretty much. They got a lot of money they can hand out. But Chet, Giddey's ready for an extension. I think Giddey gets traded. He kind of fell out of the lineup. He doesn't seem like he's a part of the long-term plans. Some teams are probably going to throw not a lot to the Thunder to get him. Because they got to dump him. They're not going to extend him. Maybe he plays this out. Maybe he's there one more year. Maybe they trade him at the deadline next year. But this Hayward slot, they could sign somebody big if somebody's there and they're a good fit. Obviously you do it, but I don't think they're going to get the right. I don't know. It's tough because you don't want to have too much money locked up in anybody. So if you sign like some free agents for 2, 3, 4 year deals, I feel like that is not ideal. Chet, he's still 2 years from an extension, but you're gonna have to get him eventually. Jalen, Dieng, same timeline. Chet's gonna have to get paid. Jalen's gonna have to get paid. Dieng hasn't really done a lot, but he's still super young. If they can get him to just come back, this isn't even this year talk. This is like next year, year after. If they can get him back, small deal, they're gonna be fine. Jalen Williams, the center, so they got him non-guaranteed money here because he's a second rounder. Bringing him back for sure. He's been solid. Isaiah Joe coming back. Aaron Wiggins coming back. Lindy Waters, I think, coming back. But they're in a good spot. I I don't know how this money's going to be spent in terms of free agents. You know, maybe they're looking at some guys that, you know, maybe there's 2 guys that they could pay 30-something million combined, rather than having Gordon Hayward in that slot if he can get some role players. You know, if they get Bruce Brown for 20-something mil, oh man, I mean, that's a nice addition. You got a lot of shooting guards already, though, a lot of guards, but, you know, that's the type of thing that they would have to consider. Somebody who's a decent fit, and, you know, maybe overpaid, you know, maybe KCP stealing from the Nuggets. But I don't know what, because they have so much depth too. I think they need maybe some center help, but not really any centers here. I mean, you got Valanciunas. I mean, maybe, you throw 20 million at him? 25? I don't even know what he would get. I don't think he's worth that much, but if they have the cap and they give him, a 2-year deal, get themselves a center. But other than that, it's Rashawn Holmes, it's Wiseman. Claxton's an interesting one, if they could pry Claxton away from the Nets. Yeah, just for some center help. That'd be interesting. So, yeah, Thunder, another team in a really good spot. I mean, it's no surprise that, you know, 4 teams that lost in the conference semifinals, they're all in pretty good spots. You know, they had a pretty good year in general. They were able to get to this point. So, you know, it's well, of course they're doing well. It's no surprise, but should be interesting. Should be interesting for sure. Yeah, the Thunder, they're not paying anybody. They don't have to pay anybody. I mean, their 3rd biggest contract next year is going to be Chet Holmgren in his 3rd year of his rookie deal. They're paying nobody other than Shea and Lou Dort. You know, that's crazy. It's crazy stuff. But hey, we know they got a lot of young guys. They're going to have to pay up real soon. So we'll see what happens with it. But there it is. That is the review of the 4 teams heading into the offseason.